feel silly even doing this video, but I kind of just wanted to document this whole process of infertility and medicines and emotions and all that can come along with it. So my husband and I have been trying to conceive for a little over a year. Before last year, I was on birth control for 5 months, like ever. That's the first time I took birth control, was right before we got married, and then through 5 months, and my body did not tolerate it very well. So my husband was like, you know what? You don't need to take this anymore. So we stopped in April of 2019. And at first, you're kind of paranoid, but excited at the same time. And I've had several friends go through infertility and are still going through infertility. And so I'd seen that path, and it did scare me, honestly. I'm in the healthcare industry, and I work with pregnant women every day, so I knew kind of a little bit about infertility. But anyway, so we had been trying for 5 months, almost 6 months, and we got pregnant. So the first couple months I didn't track anything, and then started tracking with ovulation sticks in July of last year. We got pregnant in November of 2019. It was very, very short-lived. I was probably 3 days late for my period, and I was just too scared to take a pregnancy test. I'm literally never, ever late, ever. And so it was Halloween night. My husband, he's a pastor, so he was at the trunk or treat thing at church. And I had went and came home, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a test. So, because I felt different, like bloated, crampy, but different than period cramps. And so I took a test that night, and it was definitely a squinter. Like, I took it, and I kind of thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. But then I text my cousin, who I've been texting this whole process with, and I was like, do you see anything? She was like, absolutely, I see something. There's another line there. She asked her husband if he saw something, and he definitely did. So I was kind of shocked, but so happy. And so I had bought a gift for my husband whenever it happened, to tell him he loves Bigfoot. So I bought him a little onesie that said, I think it says, best hide and go seek game since whenever. So I gave that to him in like a little jack-o'-lantern bag because it was Halloween, and that was so cool to just get to experience that with him. In my mind, I was like, maybe I should wait until the morning so you can have morning urine and the line would be darker. But I was like, no, I'll give this to him now, wait till morning to take the one that says yes or no. But so I woke up that next morning, so November 1st, and had some spotting, and I was like, well, that's weird, but I know that could be normal. But then I took the pregnancy test, and it said no. So that was a hard weekend. It was a biochemical pregnancy. And that that weekend was very difficult because he was being presented to the church as the new high school pastor. I definitely didn't want to be on display that weekend, but it's part of it. So that was really, really, really hard. Because when you see those two lines, you just think about the future. And when he was presented to the church that weekend, so 3 days after the test, and then 2 days after it was a no, someone had come up to us and said, I didn't know who they were, our church is huge, and so they said, I know you don't know me, but I just felt this overwhelming sense from the Lord to tell you guys, to come up and tell you that he asked us if we had children. We said no. We didn't tell him anything that was going on. We still haven't told a lot of people, but we said no, maybe one day. And he said, I just had this overwhelming urge to tell you that it's going to happen. Just be patient. And he had no idea what we were going through that weekend. So that was, I mean, if I wasn't sitting in front of thousands of people, I probably would have bawled my eyes out. Both my husband and I were just like, what? Anyway, so that was in November, and here we are in almost June. It's May 31st, so almost June. So it's been 13 months since I've been off birth control. And before that, my husband had been having some symptoms, so he had some lab tests done, and his testosterone was extremely low. So he was actually started on Clomid in January. He had a semen analysis, and all of that was like astronomically normal. Thank God. So I had blood work and an ultrasound probably 3 weeks ago, and it was all normal. My AMH was on the low side of normal, so I started some supplements that may or may not help with that. But so I was started on Clomid this cycle. I started it on Monday and took it Monday through Friday, and then now we wait. I didn't really have any symptoms the first day of taking it. I was just like, oh, that's great. I'm very thankful. And then the second day, I started getting bloated, which was super fun. Luckily, I wear scrubs, so the tightness of pants didn't happen, and if it did, I just loosened it. And then that same morning, probably about an hour or two after I took it, I started getting hot flashes. And oh my word, I feel for people who experience those often, because it feels like your body is on fire from the inside out. So it's now cycle day 11, and I experienced bloating and hot flashes. I still have them. I just still have it. And then yesterday my hormones have been fine. I feel like my mood has been fine. And then yesterday, I woke up, as one would say, on the wrong side of the bed. Not necessarily grumpy, more sad, which I couldn't really explain. My husband was asking me, what's wrong? How do you feel? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm crying. I can't describe how I feel. It's just what I feel. So I went back to sleep and then woke up in a better mood. So I'm hoping that won't happen again, but I don't know. I have not ovulated yet. So normally I ovulate early. Usually around day 10 or between days 9 and 11, I'll get a positive ovulation test. It's day 11, and I'm nowhere near it. So I know with Clomid, I'm assuming you're supposed to ovulate 5 days after the last pill. So I don't know how it's going to affect my body. I don't know what will happen, but I could be naive to think that this could work the first time. I could look back on this in a year and still not be pregnant and be like, oh, poor girl, you had no idea. But I'm cautiously optimistic. I will be shocked if I do get pregnant this cycle. I go in to get lab work done on Tuesday or Wednesday of this coming week. I believe it's my estradiol. I don't know. I'm so new to this. And then the following week, I'll get my progesterone checked. Like I said, I'm so new to this, and in the time of COVID, appointments are short, and not too much was explained to me, just because I am in the medical field, and I do kind of work. I am in OB, and so physicians just may assume that I know everything about all the levels and all that stuff, but I definitely do not. I specialize in a different part of medicine, OB medicine. So, who knows? I just kind of wanted to document it so I can look back and one day show our children how much they were wanted and loved, and even before they existed. And just document this journey. And I don't know if I'll ever publish it, but I hope that our story maybe one day can help other people. I know I'm so heartbroken for my friends who have had to or are still going through infertility, yet I'm so thankful for their friendships, because they are helping me so much. So keeping my fingers crossed. I don't really do that, but praying that this is our cycle to be pregnant, but also trusting in the Lord's timing, and He's shown me and my husband time and time again where His timing is so perfect. And so I'm just trying to rest in that, and rest in Him when I feel weak, and trust that He is sovereign and He is good, and this process will be worth it. Sorry if I keep looking out the window. There's a field across our house with cows. So it's probably one of my most favorite views, with mountains and anything. Anyways, I'm all over the place. I know this is super long, and who actually is going to watch this except me? So, yeah, we'll see what happens.